guys, and welcome to the Ex-Cogamers podcast / YouTube series. So, are you excited for this?
I'm very excited. How about you?
I am excited and extremely nervous because,
Absolutely.
this is I'm going in not only with recording this and going into production with it, but it's certainly been a ride for sure.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. But we're finally here. We've been talking about doing this for almost a year now.
Easily.
And we're finally come together and decided to start doing this. And we plan to debut this on Valentine's Day.
For all you sexy lovers out there.
Or those lonely and depressed single people who will be drinking immensely on Valentine's Day. So we decided that we would come together and talk about 10 games that are great to play in a relationship or single. But I figured first, let's talk about some top headlines we've seen in gaming news and kind of get some thoughts and opinions about it.
Oh, yeah.
So starting off, the one that we were discussing here before we started recording, Xbox has laid off a good majority of their physical media departments.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's got me worried. It's kind of showing what's the next steps for collectors who collect physical media. Absolutely. I don't collect hardcore for the Xbox. Do you? Is that something you do?
I do somewhat. I have the Halo Infinite Steelbook. And my Xbox is my primary console. That's what I play with all my friends on, and so my PlayStation is kind of the back burner for my story games.
Okay.
So if they did decide to do it, it wouldn't be that big of a hit, because if you think about it, what are the exclusive titles that Xbox currently has?
Oh yeah, I mean Starfield, and I don't even
No, it's Xbox now. They bought it out.
So yeah, then you have Starfield, I mean Halo, Gears, but that leads right into the next topic. They're talking about, rumors are that they're going to be bringing their exclusives to PlayStation and stuff.
Right,
so,
which is exciting because let's be honest, the console war's gone on forever now.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gone on far too long, and I honestly feel like it's okay to it's time to let it go.
Yeah, no, 100%.
If you decide you want to play on PlayStation, then you should be able to play your games on PlayStation. If you want to play on Xbox, you should be able to play on Xbox. If you want to play on Switch, you're kind of screwed due to power limitations.
And Nintendo.
And Nintendo, because Nintendo would never let go of Mario, that's for sure.
Do you think Sony, though, will do the same thing?
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
Absolutely not. They are very, and rightfully so, they're safely regarded with their IPs.
Oh, absolutely.
And I understand that. That is your idea. You developed that. And it's something I've noticed, doing stand-up. It's those are my jokes. I don't want somebody else to go out and tell my jokes.
Yeah, and if I want my people to play God of War, I want them to play it on my system that we created.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah.
So that makes you kind of think, what's going on behind the scenes at Xbox? Why are they just here's our exclusives? Are they hurting? Or is these business deals they've been making not working out the way we thought?
I mean, you think about it. They just bought out Activision. They bought out Bethesda. I mean, they've been buying studios left and right. They've had that huge court deal recently where Sony was trying to prevent them from buying Activision.
So yeah, it's kind of and then what does that say about games coming out the new Elder Scrolls we're going to eventually get?
I know.
I mean, heck, you look even at Spyro, Crash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Call of Duty. I mean, it gets kind of what's going on? It's kind of, and are these games not going to get physical media? With Spyro is one of my favorite games. Am I going to support it if it doesn't have a physical disc? That's a big deal to me.
Yeah, absolutely, for both of us. I mean, because we both actively collect.
Oh, yeah.
What I should know this. I think your main consoles you collect for are Wii U, right?
Well, that's what I'm aiming. I'm trying to finish I want to go for a complete North American set of Wii U games. And I'm about, I think, 20-some titles away from it right now for being completely done.
Oof.
Yeah, it's been a long journey, but when I go for them, I try to stay offline. I try to find them just out in stores, because I feel like that's half the battle. That's fun. Being able to see stuff you don't have, it brings excitement. Yeah, I could go and I could finish the collection in the next couple months if I just go on eBay easily. But then I feel like that just takes half the joy out of it. But I mainly collect for Sony. A little bit of Xbox. I do like original Xbox 360. Xbox One here and there, but PlayStation is kind of my bread and butter. I love collecting for PlayStation.
Yeah, and I get that because PlayStation has, like we said, those heavy hitter stories.
And not only that, they get stuff that Xbox just tends to not get.
Exactly.
JRPGs, visual novels.
We just now got Persona.
Yeah.
Just like last year got Persona Royal 5.
And how many has been released on Sony systems?
I know. I think you have Persona 4 Golden that was released, on the Vita and then in digital everywhere else. But then you have 5. How many editions of 5 have been released now?
Oh, I mean, it's on. I mean, you can pretty much play 5 all the way back on PS3.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it might even be on the Vita if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so.
Okay, no.
I don't think so. I may be wrong. I think 4 Golden was the only one.
No, that sounds right.
But like stuff like that, it definitely makes you wonder what's going on under the hood at Xbox, because they just put all the Personas, Persona 3 and Persona 5 are on Game Pass right now.
And that's taken off.
Yeah.
Game Pass is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do digital, but I even have Game Pass, and it's if I just want to play something that I don't have the money at the time to get
or try out.
Yeah, it's right there, easy access.
Absolutely, and that leads to the second topic.
Absolutely.
So Disney just invested $1.5 billion into Epic Games.
I'm happy about that, but at the same time,
you really just want to see Mufasa finally get back at Scar in Fortnite.
I want Disney Infinity back.
I do too. Oh
yes.
My God. So, funny story about Disney Infinity. I remember, like, in high school, or middle school, actually, I was really into Disney Infinity. I had Skylanders.
Oh,
I loved those. I don't know where they are now. I've unfortunately have lost them, sold them, or something. Yeah. But I was really into that Toys to a game. I can't remember what
Toys to Life.
Toys to Life.
Yep.
Yes, I was really into that, like, as a young child. And I remember, like, the Game Informer done a magazine for Disney Infinity. And I remember I asked somebody at my school, I was like, did you get the Disney Infinity Game Informer? And it was one of my close friends, like, still one of my best friends to date. But somebody went, Disney Infinity? Isn't that for kids?
How dare they?
And I was like, well, yeah, it is, but it was a magazine, not the game. Totally not playing that kid's game.
Hey, man, I owned it. Being able to play as Mr. Incredible and Stitch and freaking Finding Nemo, it's just awesome.
Yeah, no, and like Skylanders, like, it just went in my Activision does what Activision does and ran that series into the ground.
Really bad.
Yeah.
It blew. There was rumors going around, and they still might be speculating that they were going to release a remaster of the first 3, if I'm not mistaken, where you didn't have to use the figures. Everything was going to be in the game. You just clicked on the character you wanted to play, it loaded up, and you went with your journey. But if you had the figurines, they were going to still be able to work and stuff. I still have all my Skylanders. My mom and me went crazy with Skylanders. And yes, my mom, she went wild, okay? She still calls herself the greatest Skylander player of all time.
My stepmom would, like, only buy the ones that she liked. she was like, I bought this for your game. I just thought it was really cool.
Absolutely. I remember times my mom would be like, hey, we're going to GameStop. And we would load up in the car. I wouldn't buy a game, but I would go home with like 5 or 6 Skylanders we did not have every time.
Yeah.
And she got, and it's funny. She would use my PlayStation account and stuff. I have platinum trophies for Skylander games from my mom. She platinumed Skylander Swap Force and Superchargers and Giants on my account. No joke.
On your account.
On my account. It got so into it. I remember for the longest time because. For a little bit there, I wasn't on PlayStation as much as I was on Xbox. I got really big into like the 360, and I didn't mess with the PS3 at all, really. So I would buy I would buy one for the Xbox and then one for PlayStation, so my mom could play it, and I wouldn't have to be like, oh, I got to share. Well,
you had to share with your mom.
Absolutely, and she stole all the figures. I would have to go downstairs, grab the figures from her. I had to explain why I needed the figurine, and then had to bring it back after I was done with it, of course. she like gatekeep these things on me. It was hilarious. I remember these times.
Gatekeep. She gatekeeped my Skylanders.
Absolutely. Get mad if like I would change their hats and stuff, because you know you can go in there and put different hats. Y'all get livid at me.
She'd jump into the game and just be like, "What did you do to my Skylanders?"
100%. You know, if I still had my old text messages, I could remember clearly getting cussed out through text messages by my mom for changing the hats. 100%.
You're like, "Mom, I'm in school. I'm just trying to learn about World War II."
She was nuts about it, man. That was like one game. She got big into like RPGs, but Skylanders, it was huge in my house. Like I have boxes. I mean, like huge storage boxes full of Skylanders. I probably have over 200 easily.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I do hope with the back to the conversation, I hope that Epic does actually, like, they do something with it. I don't want another Disneyland Adventures. Like,
No.
I would love to see Disney come back to kind of like how it was in the early 2000s. Like, I'm not saying doing a bunch of game or movie tie-ins. Like,
No.
Like, even though those are a guilty pleasure of mine, I would love to see, like, you know, like we see with Lucasfilm games. Star Wars Outlaws is getting ready to come out. Looks amazing. We have what was the other one? I really don't like the name of it, but Indiana Jones and the Full Circle or something like that.
Yes.
Like that was. They're like, what do we call this thing? And it was like just a full circle.
Yeah, it's got Indiana in it.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to buy it. I'm a
Yep.
huge Indiana Jones fan. We have the Boulder Escape right next to us,
which is awesome.
Yeah, we have Deadpool wearing his hat over there. I love Indiana Jones. It's a series that I am deeply invested in. I actually went and saw the 5th one in theaters.
Okay.
So I would love to see some Indiana Jones, make some more, couple games with that, more Star Wars. Of course, but let's see some Marvel games out there. Like, get us away from Avengers.
Yes, I mean, there's so many characters they could dive into. So just small series and really have fun with it. I mean, you could do a Fantastic, which I don't know if they fully own the rights to Fantastic Four or anything like that. But I mean, we haven't had a Fantastic Four game in forever.
I mean, the only ones we have was like the movie tie-ins. So.
Yeah, and I mean, or even, you know what I would like to see Disney do? They come up with some of the greatest movie ideas, and we get, like, I mean, you have Frozen, Moana. Give us a game, but its own thing in a Disney-themed kind of setting. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be all
bring back Epic Mickey.
That would be sick.
Actually, I don't know. The Steamboat Willie's in public domain now, so I don't know if we can do that classic Mickey back.
I don't know if we could or not.
But I would love to see more Mickey Mouse games. Epic Mickey was amazing. I remember that as a kid.
Or a new IP. I mean, honestly, it's something crazy. That. I mean, it's Disney. They have the money. They could go in there and blow our minds.
They could.
I could see them winning Game of the Year if they did it right.
If they done it right, absolutely.
Easily.
So should we go to the topic on hand?
Yes.
All right. So I think I'll let you go first.
All right.
Now you've been in a relationship. How long have you and?
Oh, me and the old lady have been together in June. 4 years.
Oh my goodness.
I've known her since I was in high school. She's 2 years younger than me, I think. Is it 2? Yeah. 2 or 3, given the time, because my birthday falls in November, hers is in August. So for a little bit there, we're about 2 years apart, then 3 years. But she doesn't play a lot of the same games as I do. She's really into some kind of, so she's got me into genres I don't normally play. I'll put like Baldur's Gate 3 came out. That's not a game that screams, like, it's just not me. I don't like games where I kind of have to create my own story. I like the story being there for me. Her, that's all her. So we have different tastes, but so some of the games I'm going to talk about today, I haven't fully played with her yet. But these are some couch co-op games that I would love. Like, if we would sit down and play it, these are games I've put on our list for us to play. And I have played with someone else, and I have fond memories of.
You mean to tell me that you cheated on her? You've tainted the experience?
Yes. I had to try these games out before I brought it to her holiness.
So you had to test the car before you drove it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't want to mess up like that, no.
No, you're focusing on couple games.
Yes.
And I'm going to be talking about single player games, mostly narrative driven. Because I've been a single Pringle for a minute now.
Lucky.
I'm not not editing that out for you.
That is fine.
When this releases on Valentine's Day, she's going to see that. She'll be like, remember that present I got you?
Oh, she will. 100%. She threatens it when I don't do the dishes. Like, she is evil. She looks cute and cuddly, but she is evil and vindictive. And I love you. Don't use this against me.
There won't be an episode 2 because JP will be killed after
It'll
the
just be her
podcast.
with him. She'll replace me.
She will replace you. She'll be like, yeah, y'all said some interesting things last episode, didn't you?
She'll have like a little knife just sitting here, just barely showed every time you answer a question.
It's like, yeah. She's like, brings up The Sims. What do you think of The Sims? It's not really my type, but I love it. It's a great game.
Yes, absolutely. She gets crazy about The Sims, man. Like, you don't Minecraft, The Sims, Skyrim, and Baldur's Gate. Those are like the holy four.
I get Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate is really, really good. I like Baldur's Gate.
Which I made her a deal. I will play it. I'm gonna give it a shot, even though it doesn't scream my kind of game. I've been hearing all the big YouTubers I watch have been going crazy about it, so I'm gonna give it an honest try. I don't know how honest it's going to be because I feel like she's going to be beside me. You did that wrong. That's not the right choice.
That was the wrong choice all along. You can get 2 copies and play together multiplayer.
You know what? That's not a bad idea, actually.
That may be
the way to go about it.
Yeah, honestly, because then you can still make those decisions and she still has to deal with your consequences.
Oh, man. And if I swear, if she gets on her rants about Asterion, she will leave me for him one day. I promise. I swear, if I do not go into this game and have romantic relationships with Asterion, she might leave me. So I have to. She might honestly leave me if I do not sexually romance Asterion when I play through this game.
Admittedly, I always go for Shadowheart.
See, you know, she was complaining about Shadowheart.
She's awful, but like it's just like she's cute. Why not?
That's me. I mean, I don't know how I feel about being told who I have to marry in Baldur's Gate 3 yet. Alrighty, so I'll start with my first game of the day. I am going to go with one, so my first game I'm going to go with is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
I played this.
Reason why I picked this, as shocking as it's going to sound, I am not a crazy Borderlands guy.
I'm not either.
So, I don't know what it is about the game. I just have a hard time getting into them.
Mm-hmm.
I watched her nephew play this. And it grabbed me the moment he started playing it. And then I beat it. And I absolutely loved it. But Stallion is all I got to say.
But Stallion.
That is amazing.
I played maybe 20 minutes of it. And one of the things I enjoyed about it is it's continuous 4th wall breaks.
Yes.
But like also it plays into the fact of like, for example, there's like a can of soda tipped over. I remember in the opening area. And it's like, that's the river.
Yes.
And it fully like embellishes that like impromptu of D&D, and like it went really well. Plus they had a really excellent choice of people to voice the characters.
Oh, absolutely.
It was so well done. I haven't completely beaten it yet, but the gameplay was fun. I'm like you. I keep your Borderlands, give me Tiny Tina's all day long.
Oh, 100%. So co-op on this game. I didn't play it online with randoms or anything. I played it a little bit with Chastity. And you know, I actually really enjoyed how fluid it was with it. It really went smooth. I mean, there's an option where you can share loot. So when you open a chest, everybody gets this choice. Or you can make it where you have to fight for it, kind of. I almost did that just to see how mad I could make her by taking everything good. Chose not to. Because I value my life. But the story alone was, I thought, solid. I was going for the platinum on this, and as much as I hate to say it, the Chaos Chambers is the reason I do not have a platinum on this game. Screw those. They suck. Very bad. All right.
So that leads me into my first one.
Let's see. I'm excited.
So I'm starting off retro, mostly because I just kind of stacked my games like kind of odd. So going off with the first one being Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yes.
I love this game. If you have not played this game, I understand it is ridiculously expensive to buy it for the 64. But you can get it on Rare Replay, which is on Game Pass, and it's an okay port. I will say it's not my favorite thing in the world. I wish they would have touched it up more. There's also an Xbox version they done a remake with, but it's altered somewhat. And if you want the original experience, get Rare Replay through Game Pass and play through it. The humor in it is excellent. There's 4th wall breaks. If I had to describe it, it is literally it was Family Guy before Family Guy.
Like absolutely.
It was like a video game that had like kiddish elements, but was not for kids at all.
No.
Like, literally, the first words across the screen are for mature audiences only. And this is, like, the first game to ever really do that. And it came from Rare. Rare's one of my favorite developers from the 90s. They were so good. And I just, the love I have for this game is immense.
It's solid. The Great Mighty Pooh. I mean, that's the
that
best
that's
song.
all you have to say.
Yes.
The Great Mighty Pooh. Well, and what got me is, like, in the beginning, like, and it's so early on before you realize what's going on in the game, is there's a scientist who's a weasel.
Yeah.
And he's like really mad at the king, and he's just like, and then bleeping his, like, him cussing, and it's like, oh,
I love
that.
it. So my first time playing Conkers was actually through the Rare Replay, and I hated it. And the reason why, as this is going to sound stupid, but when you're playing it on Rare Replay, you get that tiny little screen, and then you have the image surrounding the box.
I hate that. Yeah, I agree.
It bothered me so bad I could not get into it.
I could see why. I would say if that's an issue for you or any listeners or watchers out there, I would suggest getting the Xbox version. I think it's called Conkers
Live and Reloaded.
Live and Reloaded. Yeah, I messed that up, but Live and Reloaded.
I think the big difference between that one, it's censored a little bit more.
It is, but you still get somewhat of that experience.
Yes.
And understanding what Conker was. The best way, hands down, is 64.
Oh, absolutely.
Just hands down.
But like you said, it's about $100 game easily.
Yeah, I bought that for $60 on GameStop's website. And
really?
Yes. And my complaint with this is there's some pills at the bottom. And,
okay.
Like, I don't care particularly, like, so long as it plays, but I do like having a clean label, especially when it's a high-dollar game like this one.
So I got my copy through a pawn shop. I'm really good friends with one of the guys that worked down there. He posted it on Facebook, and I was like, "Dude, hold that for me." And I paid about $60 for my copy, so I was thrilled. Yep. All right, so on to my next one. So, question for you: have you ever heard of this series, Earth Defense Force?
Yes and no. I have heard of it. Have never ever played it.
Oh my God, you are missing out on one of the best games ever. And it is terrible at the same time.
It is terrible.
It is probably one of the worst games you'll ever play, but it's so much fun. So the premise of the game is Earth is being attacked by giant insects. And you are part of the Earth Defense Force, and you're just fighting giant ants, wasps, spiders, and you get these ridiculous weapons, and they make fun of Godzilla. And it is hilarious.
I like it.
So this is just a very basic, you're being swarmed by all these bugs. You pick a class of soldier you want to be, and you go through the game and you fight them. So what I love about the game is just when you get hit, your character goes flying, and then it takes like 5 minutes to stand up, and then you get hit again, and then you go fly.
There's so much frustration I can already picture.
And I also forgot there's giant robots you fight in this game too. So
I'm sold.
Yeah, it's just insane. And playing this co-op is so much fun because there are moments in the game where you're being swarmed and you're just overwhelmed, and then you have your friend just run up beside you like a Leroy Jenkins to try to save the day. They get hit, and then it's just both of you get destroyed. It is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Highly recommend this, especially if you have someone to play with. It does have a online play, but my problem with online play, I don't like playing with strangers because you never know what you're going to hear about your mom, and I'm very protective over my mom. I don't want to hear about her love life from a 5-year-old.
I had so many jokes lined up about your mom before we started recording, and then you said that. So, like, well, those are out the window.
Right out the window.
Because this is the first episode. I need this to go well. We'll wait till, like, the 10th episode.
There we go.
And then we'll bring the insults in.
Absolutely.
So, going to my second game, I'm also sticking to the 64. Big surprise there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So this was one of the first 64 games released. It was Shadows of the Empire.
Yes.
So this game, admittedly, playing it now is very janky.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even going to sit here and sugarcoat it. But if you're a Star Wars fan, such as myself, it has a really, really good story. Yeah. And it branches out. It's like one of the first few games that kind of branch out of the mainstream of Star Wars. Oh, yeah. It's a completely different perspective. Great story. You get to drive vehicles. There's platforming levels. There's shooting involved. Like, it was super advanced for the time of the 64.
Oh, absolutely.
So, really short tidbit on that, but it's fun. It also, believe it or not, I found this out. There was a development menu. If you press buttons in a certain combo, you could do a development menu, and you could actually see the FPS, change settings.
Really?
Yeah, it was really crazy, and it was left in at launch, which is super weird and crazy, but like, it's so cool to think about that. Like, even like, this game's what, 20, 30 years old now?
Yeah, easily.
And they were still thinking about things like FPS developing at that time. Like, it was something I didn't even think about until I started like getting the PC. Like, oh, if it's not running 60, I don't want it. And then you realize that like this has been a challenge for a long time.
Yeah.
So that was going back to it. Fun game. Highly suggest. You can get it over quick and easy. Kind of like JP's mom.
There it is. There it is. I knew it was coming.
Great game.
So, funny story about that game, actually. It was one of the first... When I got my N64, I bought it off a family member. Well, my mom bought it off a family member. And the way they sold it to us, we were told we were going to get these certain games, and we did not. They kept the good games, and we got all these other games. So I was thinking I was going to get like the GoldenEye game, Super Smash Brothers.
So good.
I did not. The only great game I would say out of that whole thing I got was like Mario Kart. But that was one of the games. And this is when I was young. I had no idea what Star Wars was, really. I had no idea what I was doing.
You still haven't watched the movies, have you?
Oh, you want to say that on a podcast? You're going to get us killed. You're going to get me killed. I've seen one movie. And so my loved one is a huge Star Wars fan. She collects anything Anakin Skywalker. We have a cat named Anakin and Darth Vader. And she gets so mad at me because I have no idea a lot of the stuff. All right, and we'll be like, all I know is when we go to like GameStop or like thrift shopping, anything Anakin or Darth Vader, that's the only thing I have to look for. But then she'll pick up like this robot-looking guy and be like, oh, and I'm just like, who the hell is that? I've never seen him in my life.
I know. I have no idea who this is.
No clue. It's awful. But...
And here's the thing, and like there's a stigmatism of people who haven't watched Star Wars, and like it's a great series. Like, definitely watch it. I'm gonna really get us killed with this statement, but I can understand why people don't enjoy it. Like, science fiction is just not for everybody.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, while Star Wars is great, it has one of the most conflicting fan bases I've ever met in my life.
That is 100% true.
Yeah. So, like, while I love Star Wars, I'm one of those people that, like, the prequels were okay. They were not my favorite Star Wars films. Or not the prequels, the sequels. But I grew up watching the prequels, and I love the prequels, and still now, even, like, there's parts of them, like, okay, I can see why people don't enjoy that as much. But I'm also, like, one of those people that, like, it's Star Wars, and I love Star Wars, so I like this. So, yeah, I mean, everyone has their opinions, and everyone's entitled to
absolutely.
it. So,
I mean, some of the games we're talking about today, I mean, like Conquerors, you might play it and absolutely hate it.
Absolutely.
Where we've played it and absolutely love it.
Right, exactly.
I don't know how you could hate that game, though. I take that statement back. If you hate Conquerors, you don't deserve this. You do not deserve to watch this podcast.
Just stop the podcast, right, stop the video, whatever you're doing. Yeah. Just go recontemplate things. Okay?
Yes. Play Conquerors, come back, and if you still hate it, go away again. We don't like you. We don't want your kind.
We don't want you as an audience. Well, we're already isolating episode 1
with our one follower right now.
With our one follower,
who is my mom. I love you.
Just gonna watch these jokes, and then one day I'm gonna actually meet your mom, and I won't make jokes about her anymore because I met her.
You will love my mom. She is probably one of the biggest gamers I've ever met.
Okay,
but she is crazy. She is 100% crazy. So my next game, this is absolutely one of my favorite series. I love this game, Dynasty Warriors. I absolutely love these games. I chose 8 because I do not like 9 as much. And this is where I'm going to get a lot of... Well, I don't know. 9 was open world. So you got this humongous map. Mm-hmm. You picked your character you wanted to play as. And that's kind of where you started. But their storyline... Well, I mean, they were focused in this area. So over here, they have nothing going on because they weren't around during that time period. Or so you're just stuck. So the whole open world part... Yeah, it's nice, but you're not using half the map half the time. This game, it was more sandbox, kind of. You picked a stage, you had the stage you go through, but the character roster was insane. I mean, you had over 82 characters, and then this one, with being a PS4, we actually got new characters, and one of the characters that we got was Lubu's daughter, and I absolutely loved her weapon. She got his weapon from Dynasty Warriors 6, which was like this cross pike, and man, I could play this game for hours. hours upon hours. I remember taking the original Dynasty Warriors 8 for the PS3 on vacation, and I would stay home in the hotel room while my mom and them went out and did their stuff, just so I could play Dynasty Warriors 8 while they did their things. Love this game series.
So I have to admit something.
Oh God, don't say it.
I've never played a Dynasty Warriors.
Oh man, it's silly.
Allow me to rephrase. I've played Dynasty Warrior light games. I played what was the recent Hyrule Warriors?
Age of Calamity.
I've been playing I played that, and like they're fun. I did enjoy it. The only thing I didn't like about it was the frame rate was so dipping really hard on that. That was my only complaint about those games. They're fun. There's strategy involved a little bit, but it's just it's a good game to start and just kind of like
zone out and
play and just have fun. And those are the games I find that I enjoy the most.
100%.
It is like just because like when I play a game, I'm trying to play a game to escape what I got going on in my life, you know?
Yeah.
And if a game can't, like, let me have fun and forget that, I don't want to play it. So I could see why everyone loves Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, it's just simple. You literally... I mean, with the Dynasty Warriors series, what I like about them so much is, you know how, like, Hyrule Warriors, you do have that strategy and stuff? You don't have to have that. There's things you can do like that make the battle, like the stage you're on, a little bit easier, but you don't have to. You can just kind of go off, and if you just want to kill everybody, just kill everybody. You don't have to follow the path. I mean, honestly, it is so awesome because you just power your character up. You can destroy everybody and have no problems. I absolutely love it. So it's such a good game.
So for my next game, I'm choosing an indie title.
Okay.
I'm changing it up a little bit.
Let's see it.
It is Hotline Miami Collection.
I've never played it.
Okay, well, allow me to give you a little bit of foreground. Have you ever played like the original Grand Theft Auto on the PS1?
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's kind of like that. It's top down, but it's a twin shooter.
Okay.
And it has a narrative, but it also like what was really interesting about this game is it challenged violence in video games. Like one of the lines is, "Do you enjoy killing people?" And in a video game, I do.
Sometimes in real life.
Sometimes in real life.
Sometimes the lawyer said we're not allowed to talk about that.
Well, hey, all the charges were dropped.
That's all that matters.
And who would have known that murdering her boyfriend would have made her dislike me more? But
you thought it was like Highlander.
I thought if I stabbed him with a saber, she would fall in love with my masculinity.
Absolutely. Isn't that like how it was in back day, like olden days? You killed him, it was yours.
No, well, that you had to like trade, like you had to go to the dad with the cow and be like, look, I give you my finest cow for your daughter, and that was how it was. And admittedly, it's very wrong, like, today.
Oh, yeah, no, you could not get away with that today.
No, and you shouldn't get away with that at all. Like, that is not okay, but, like, had we still been in that, I probably wouldn't have been married. I would have been like, here's a horse, here's a pig, here's a cow. She has no choice now.
I give you everything.
Yeah, like, you can have my farm's land, we'll live with you. Like,
that's fine. Why not? That is great. All right, my next one.
You're on your next one. Yep.
So I couldn't talk about a couple's video game without having to bring this.
Oh my God, yes.
This, if you are in a relationship, if you have a best friend and you want to play a game together, this is probably one of the best games. I mean, it is so much fun.
So good.
It is morbid though. When you look at what you have to do in this game, it is one of the most morbid games ever. And no one talks about it. No. And I don't know why. It is so messed up.
The elephant.
Yes! That is brutal!
Like, I don't want to say anything without spoiling it, but like, I was playing this with one of my friends. We actually used to work together as well. Actually, we should touch on that for like 5 seconds. Let me derail for 2 seconds.
Oh, no, you're good.
We are calling this game Ex-Cogamers.
Yes.
Because we used to work together at a video game store. Not going to say the name of it.
No, absolutely not.
But we used to work together and then became really good friends. And then here we are 2 years later doing a podcast. But I was playing with another one of my friends. I won't say their name on the pod, but
yeah, we
were playing together and we had an absolute blast playing this game. And we got to the elephant scene. And I am like completely like diabolically laughing like, yes! And she's like, oh my God, no!
Even not even even that one, the vacuum that you have to.
Yeah.
That is so messed up.
Why did you never fix me?
It makes you feel terrible,
right?
Just to fix the relationship. Like, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Actually, and like when we were like I said, we used to work at a game store, and I remember I would suggest this to people, and I was like, I'd be like, we're looking for a game we could play together. Like, we're talking kids, and I remember this mom came in, and she was like, with these kids, and she's like, yeah, we're buying some games today, and I'm like, oh, cool, and she was like, we're looking for games they can play together, and I was like, well. It Takes Two is really good. It's so fun. And like the gameplay is amazing.
Oh, one of the best couch co-op games you could play. It's so good. Absolutely.
And won Game of the Year, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I agree.
But I was talking to this mom about it, and she goes, oh, that's really cool. Hey kids, go over there. They're like, look, they're going through a divorce right now.
Worst game to choose.
And I felt about that tall, and I was like, okay, well, not anymore.
No, putting that one back.
Yep, so, back on the shelf.
I also have a funny experience with this game.
Ruh-roh.
Yes, this is my favorite thing. I had a dad come in with his son, and he was talking, he wanted to play a game with his son, and I was like, this game's, it's amazing. Would not buy it because it promoted divorce. I mean, got mad at me that I recommended it, and I was like, "Man, I'm not recommending it because you fix it. I think
they leave it open.
Okay,
they leave it open. I feel like you feel like they are in a better place than where they were at the beginning.
Okay,
but I don't think they stayed together. Well, I'm spoiling the game. I feel bad now, but
I mean. We're sorry. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
If we'll have to like put something in the panel. There may be a spoiler right there.
Absolutely.
You might want to
skip if you don't want to know nothing. But yeah, I've never beaten it, and I love playing with my significant one because
it's so good.
I'm so much better at platformers than she is. So you see those memes where like it shows the guy going through the stage and then you see the girl just fall and everything. That is my life with this game, and I love it. And then I'm even dirtier. So like when you have to move the platformers for her, I'll do it, and then when she goes to jump, I'll move it real quick so she falls, and then the fight starts, and I lose every time. But I absolutely love it for that reason. The game by itself should win Game of the Year just for that, because the trolling.
Yes.
All right.
So, we're going to talk about one of my favorite franchises now.
Oh, gosh.
He wore a Zelda t-shirt today.
My zipper broke on my hoodie coming here, so...
Just to support
you can't really
me.
See it. Yes.
Yeah, you can't really see it, but it's a Zelda t-shirt, and he wore it just on my account. So, the game I'm talking about today is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I will let you all know, as this podcast goes on, this series is going to make a lot of appearances.
All right.
Not so much this one, but Zelda in general.
I'm going to interrupt real quick and say I have not beaten it yet or played it past like an hour. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I cannot get into it.
Episode 1, that's a wrap. I'll see you all later.
All right, it's been fun.
No, like it's a long game, okay? Like it took me forever to beat this game because I kept getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
And even when I beat it, everyone was like, that was the best game ever. That was such a great game. And I was like, I don't really see it. Like, it was, and I didn't understand why. And I went to go play it a second time. And now I get it. It has so many elements that have never been implemented before in a Zelda game.
Oh, yeah.
Like the different mechanics. You can freeze with ice. You can move things. Like, it was completely different. And then you have the shrines. And it was really different, but it was fantastic. And there's my dog. I hope the mic didn't pick that up, but if it did, it is.
The dog loves the game.
Max is out there saying, how dare he not play Zelda?
Yeah, he's going to eat me now.
He's going to eat you now. He's like trying to get through the door now.
Oh, I can see
but no, it's fantastic, but it takes a while. And that was sort of what kind of held me back on it is, like you, I like games that take me, like, if they give me a quest point, I love it. That's why I love Skyrim, because I can immediately get to point A to point B.
Yes.
And you can't do that with Zelda. But with this one in particular, you have to go everywhere. And that's what's...
there's like real no guidance. And it's just kind of like, oh, hey, you're here.
Yeah, here's the open world. And it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, no,
I love
agree.
that. But I'm a type of person, once again, I like having my point A to my point B.
Yeah, I want to know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
And then if I want to do the other stuff, I can.
And I'm not down in this game. This game's great. It's my favorite.
I haven't even played it, and I know how awesome it is.
I bought the collector's edition of the second one. Like, I love Zelda. It is it is. I mean, there's a Zelda poster there. Like I love Zelda.
I have to agree with you. The game I'm not downing the game at all. The game deserves
everything.
Everything, because it is an amazing game, 100%. Yeah. All right, so my next one. Cool, I'm excited to talk about this one. So this is technically not in my collection. So where I go have my apps and stuff, if you go through them, you will not see this game because it is the greatest hits versions. And I don't have a problem with greatest hits. But I'd rather have Black Label. So I'll hold on to it until I get the Black Label. So if I ever want to play it, I can. But when I get the Black Label, that's when I'll finally add it. But it's Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Have you ever played this?
I have not.
This is so much fun. So it's not your typical 2D fighter or 3D fighter. It's basically you play as Liu Kang or Kung Lao, and you can play in co-op, and you kind of like beat them up. You go through the stage, and you have to solve puzzles, you have to fight, and there's boss fights. I remember me and my best friend at the time were playing this, and I lied to him and told him the first player has to do all the fatalities on the boss to unlock a secret thing at the end of the game, just so I could do all the fatalities. I'm a jerk. But it was awesome, and he believed me. We never beat the game.
He fell for it.
Oh, he absolutely
fell
did.
for it. It was all his fault.
But and there's cheat codes you can use in this game where you can play as like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And you get all these crazy combos. You level your character up, and there's some of the boss fights in the game, are insane. Like, you fight Reptile, and one of the fatality you do on him is brutal. I mean, it's Mortal Kombat. So much fun, though. I don't think this game gets the recognition it deserves, and I wish they would make more games like this.
What is interesting to me about it, like, I've never played it, but I see Goro there.
Yep,
I see, I believe, Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's also, what appeals to me the most is it was published by the original publisher of Mortal Kombat, Midway Games.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately is now, well, not unfortunately, Warner Brothers has been doing a good job with it.
Yeah.
But just one of those games, when Midway had this series, some of the best work from the series came out of it.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
They had their more offs than ons, and that's why we're in the predicament we're in now.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is definitely something, even though I've never played it, I may end up trying to play it because...
Please do, because this game, I mean, it doesn't get the recognition it deserves, and it really should get more, because it is a solid beat 'em up. I mean, it really is. And the boss fights they're not like crazy, like you don't have all this stuff going on, like how all these newer boss fights you have all this crazy stuff. It's not like, it's literally, you would think Mortal Kombat, you're fighting this guy and it's just you and your teammate against this one person, and it plays. And now when you play by yourself, you don't have that teammate, so it's one-on-one essentially, but you can get weapons that you can use against these characters. There's you know how like in actual Mortal Kombat fighting games, like you can use stuff to do, like you can knock someone off the stage and they'll die. You can do that in this game. Like there's something like a spike ball, you can drop it and it'll crush people. Like there's a lot of cool things with this game that I don't think it gets talked about enough. Nobody I watch really talks about it, and it feels like it goes under the radar. So if you get a chance, even if you play it by yourself, if you have a friend you can play it with, that makes it so much better. Give this game a try. It is worth I highly recommend it.
Okay, definitely will then. So I've thrown a lot of oddballs in here. I gotta look at the rest of my list real quick. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take a look at mine here.
I meant to grab one. I had so many jokes for one game and I didn't grab it. It's not in the list. I'm just gonna throw it out there now as an extra. What am I throwing out of this?
I don't throw anything out. Just go ahead and talk about it.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
So the game is Cyberpunk.
Okay.
And admittedly, this game came out with a lot of bugs.
Yes.
Like JP's mom. And
she still got him.
Oh my god.
She is going to kill me when she watches this.
Oh yeah.
She is going to.
Oh yeah.
I'm not ready for that talk.
But
I can already see it.
But the game came out with a lot of bugs. It got rejected harder than my mom at the senior prom. Like people hated this game when it came out. But like the girl who I told no in high school, it had a glow up. And now I regret not giving it a chance.
Yep.
But Cyberpunk is a fantastic game. Like if you're a fan of those open world RPGs, especially now that it's been fixed, it's fantastic.
I've been told that.
It's a great story. Of course, Keanu Reeves is in it. You can never go wrong with Keanu Reeves.
Absolutely.
And it's just such a good story, first person shooter. Have you played that yet?
I have not.
I'm so disappointed right now. You just You need to quit playing whatever you're playing and start playing some good games.
I am right now playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS5 with Chastity.
Okay, so actually, there you go. Final Fantasy, I've never played.
What? I thought we were friends.
We are.
You haven't played the remake?
No.
Oh, man.
I've not even played the original.
I can agree with you there. Yeah, as bad as that, I have not played the original yet. But the remake is so good.
I played like the first 10 minutes of it, and then I quit because like until like the last couple years have I started playing RPGs. RPGs have not been my thing. Like obviously like Zelda, Skyrim, those are like a little different. But like turn-based RPGs, not been my thing.
Really?
Yeah, until recently. I've just now gotten into it. A friend of mine gave me a top 10, and I started with Chrono Trigger.
Oh, that's
and I loved it. I love Chrono Trigger. I haven't beat it yet, but I've gotten pretty deeply invested into it. I need to finish it. But then he also said play Persona 3, and it was FES, PS2.
Yeah.
So I was playing it, and it was really, really good. I was enjoying it. And then the Reload just came out last Friday, and I've been playing it a bunch. It's been fantastic.
I'm thinking about picking it up, but my problem is I can't get into Persona that hard.
It's on Game Pass. That's how I'm playing it.
I might have to just suck it up and play it.
Yeah, it's Persona. I will admit, like, because I was explaining it to my brother. He was like, "What have you been playing recently?" And I was like, "Oh, Persona." And I explained it to him, and he's like, "Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me it's an RPG with a life sim that can let you get a Japanese waifu?"
That's exactly. Yeah.
That should have been the game I chose for Valentine's Day.
Yes, that would have been it. I've been wanting the Reload looks amazing. I've been wanting to pick it up just because I've never played through Persona 3. To be honest, I haven't even played through Persona 5 yet. And
really?
It's the time constraints, I think, that really bother me. I don't like being like everything's on kind of like a time schedule.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm being pressured.
I get that. 3 is not that bad, I don't think, with the time schedule.
Okay.
Like, I mean, and here's the thing with the social links is like, there's no consequences really if you're like, I'm gonna go hang out with this person.
Okay.
It gets leveled up, at least from my experience. I may get into the game and realize that one of my social links hates me. Because there's a couple of them I've just been like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this thing because this social link's kind of bad, so I'm gonna build this up. So, yeah. My actual game though, that was my next actual game was Naughty Bear. Have you played this?
I have not. I have been dying to though. I cannot find it.
This actually may be the game I let you choose to play for the recording. I'm perfectly okay with that. We're going to do a segment after we talk. Hopefully we don't run too long, but we're going to do a segment recording like one game from each of our lists that we've never played before. Yes. And since you've never played this and you're dying to play it, and it's Valentine's Day, and
it fits the schedule.
I'm feeling sweet. We're going to play some Naughty Bear. It fits the schedule. There's a bed next to us. I put some rose petals in here.
Oh my gosh.
For Valentine's Day.
And we got the teddy bear.
And the teddy bear. And he has a knife. How did he know I was into that? But no, it's like Manhunt, but it's cartoony, and like literally your goal is to defluff all the teddy bears.
Defluff?
That's the word. Defluff all the teddy bears because they forgot to leave them out of a birthday party.
Oh my god!
This game is literally the consequences of not being nice to the kid in high school.
That sounds amazing.
And then they've done a sequel called I think it's called Naughty Bear in Paradise.
Okay.
And it was just as good. It was amazing. Like you could destroy cars so they couldn't leave, and you could scare them so bad that they commit suicide.
That is amazing. Yeah. Suicide's not good.
No.
Suicide.
But you can scare them so bad that they're just like, nope, it's not worth it. And it's so good. I love this game. 10 out of 10. I would recommend it to anybody. It's hilarious. It's fun. It's like Manhunt, but like kid style.
I'm gonna have to play it. That just sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So let's see here. I'm gonna change things up. You know what? Now I'm gonna go with this one. Have you ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses?
You ready to get upset?
Oh gosh, you have not.
I've not played it. I know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is.
Okay.
But I have never watched the show.
Okay.
Played the cards. I just haven't. There's no reason for it. I just haven't.
So this is not your your typical Yu-Gi-Oh game where it's like two people, you're doing your cards and everything. So you're on a grid and you get your deck, and then you have a leader, and that goes down first, and then you place your units and you have to move them, and it's kind of like a strategy game, and then like it plays almost identical to Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's a twist. This is so much fun. I absolutely love this game. And you pick a side, so you can go with Yugi or you can go with Kappa. And like when you do that, you have to fight different people based on that. And the 2-player in this isn't really that you're working together. You have to battle each other, but you build your own decks. And I remember I had a friend who, me and him would try to build the most outrageous decks you could think of on this and go at each other. And he had a card that like every turn, if it was in defense mode, it would like gain HP or like power, and he would have it ridiculously high, and there was nothing I could do about it if I didn't take it out like immediately. We almost did not stay friends because of this game.
This is your Mario Party.
Yes, 100%. So much fun though. Absolutely recommend this game. And just like this, the combat in it, and just how it's all on like a map, and you actually have to move your pieces and try to take, like, the way you win, you have to attack the leader and knock out his life points. And it's so much fun for what it is.
I might have to try that, because Yu-Gi-Oh, like I said, I've never played a Yu-Gi-Oh game before or watched the show. So that may be mine from your list. We'll have to see what else you brought, because I have never played that before.
That's a solid one. That's solid.
Oh, going into the next video, or next game, that would be, and we've all played it. We all love it. She's been around forever. She's old faithful. Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Yeah.
This game is fantastic. I have bought it more times than I'm willing to admit.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. I love it. It's great.
I have not played it all the way through.
No one has. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like, this game is just great though. You can travel. You can to different settlements. You can become the Thane. There's different relationships with each of the strongholds.
Yeah.
So like you can really get invested into it and do like your own role play of the character if you wanted to. Like, it's crazy. You can even get married.
Oh no, it's insane. You can build a house.
You can get married.
Oh, I'm sorry. Guys, we're going to have to take a moment of silence here for Jacob.
Never mind, I'm taking that off the list.
Just go ahead and write that one off.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the story where that guy found a dog in the game, and then he spent the rest of the game keeping this dog alive? And like, it is this crazy story about how this guy would fight everything, and this dog, like, he would reload his save if it would die. Finally, he gets it like a home, and then the woman gets mad at him that he married and didn't want to keep, like, the kid didn't want to keep the dog, so she like got rid of it, and then he had to go find another family so he could leave the dog at the house. You gotta look it up. It's insane what this guy went through.
I will.
For a dog.
There's another game that I will mention later on. There's a series of Red Dead Redemption 2 videos.
Oh God.
Where he, like, I can't remember what it's called, but he kills a wolf and he's like has it on his shoulder, and he'll just walk in and be like, "That's my dog."
That is greatness. All right, I'm up again. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna talk about a Star Wars game myself. Have you ever played Battlefront 2?
Oh my God, it has been so long.
So I need to update my case and everything, because this game's got destroyed through the years.
Oh yeah.
But that's how much I've played it. I can't tell you how many hours I've put into this game.
It was such a great game, and I miss it. God.
I wish EA would have done so much of a better job with the ones they released. Yeah.
I've played them. They're great. Like, I do enjoy the new ones,
yeah,
but they do not match the hype or the fun that I had with the original two.
And it was basic. I mean, it wasn't nothing complicated.
And that's something I kind of missed with previous generations, is that it wasn't something outlandish. It wasn't a gimmick sometimes. It was just literally a game that was fun to play, and I wish they would bring that back in the industry.
And get rid of all the microtransactions.
Oh,
Give
please,
us
for the
finished
love
games.
of God.
But if you haven't played this, please do yourself a favor. You can just go in Conquest mode and just destroy it. I remember me and my buddy had a bet to see if we could stay alive one whole stage and not die. And it took me like a week to do, and I finally pulled it off. And it was on like the one stage you can play with Darth Maul after you, and I just played as a sniper and hid in a corner and cried anytime I saw somebody. It was fantastic.
That's great.
Love this game.
Next one. Now, if you like this game, there's a good chance you hate yourself, and you already are alone this Valentine's Day. Elden Ring.
Oh, God.
I freaking love this game. this is also another game that you could have been on your list with significant others, because I enjoy this playing more with friends. It is so fun. I love this series. Any Soulsborne game. Like, I'll be honest with you, and I've told you who got me into these games.
Yes.
When he told me about it, I had a joke, because there was like a SpongeBob episode when they're talking about Texas, and he's like, "What's Texas? That's dumb." Like, I literally done that, but done the whole thing on Dark Souls. I was like, "What's Dark Souls? That's dumb." And he was like, "Ha ha ha, but have you ever played it?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Play it, and we'll talk." And then it sent me down a rabbit hole. I started with Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
Then I played Demon Souls. I started Bloodborne, never finished it. But then this came out. And this is a phenomenal game. Very challenging.
Oh, yeah.
But so fun. And it was like Breath of the Wild, where it was open world, where it's like, go do what you want. And I won't lie. I looked up a guide on a couple things.
Oh, no shame in that.
But it was so fun. And I had such a great time playing this game. And, if you're wanting to get, like, lost on Valentine's Day and forget that you're alone.
Who you are.
Yeah, forget who you are and just want to kill everything in sight. Elden Ring's the game for you.
I tried it. I played it for a little bit. And I got to the part where you fight that guy who's riding the horse in the very beginning. Killed me like 30 times. And I was like, you know what? I don't need this stress. And haven't touched it since.
Hey, you want to know a funny story?
You can avoid him.
He's not... Yeah, you don't have to fight him. He's optional.
He killed me, and then it was like a battle from there. Like, I could not deal with the defeat. And then I finally had to give up.
You had a vendetta from that point? You're like, that son of a...
The 29th time, I was like, you know what? This isn't worth it. This is going nowhere. This is literally going nowhere, except me dying every time.
We're down to 2 more.
I got 3.
You have 3?
I don't know where we got lost at.
You broke the rule.
Well, wait a minute. You just did one, so I'll do one. So I'll have 2. Okay, so we can't math.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing a podcast.
We done what every white guy in his 20s does. Start a podcast.
Hey, you're absolutely right. So my next game, everybody knows what this series is.
Yes.
This is such a fun game to play with a friend.
Oh my god.
If you have a guitar. Now, if you want to be evil and give them the controller, that's even better. I can't think of no one who hasn't played guitar yet.
I haven't seen one of these in ages. I feel like I've just traveled back in time. Like, I remember this being on the shelves as a kid.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is
all the different styles of guitars you could buy and stuff. I absolutely love it. And then Through the Fire and Flames.
Oh, my God. I love that song and hate the level. Like, it is so difficult.
The actual guitar player, Herman Lee from Dragon Force, could not play it on Guitar Hero. He failed it. Yeah. They did a big video on it. He can play the song, though, but he can't play Guitar Hero.
No hurt to his ego, right?
Oh, no. I mean, it's such... I wish they could bring it back and do it right.
I do wish they would bring it back. I mean, Fortnite just done this big festival thing.
They're actually coming out with a guitar for Fortnite.
I saw that.
Yeah.
But they also just got Green Day on there. And anyone who knows me, Green Day is my favorite. One of my favorite bands out there. And I've been playing the songs, and I'm like, oh my god, what I wouldn't give to have a guitar to play this with.
Be sick.
I'm excited. Next game.
Okay.
Next game here is the first game that really made me have feelings in a video game. Like, I bawled in this game.
Oh, this one made you cry.
This one made me cry, like legit. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay.
This, which I wish I had the original case. Unfortunately, I had to still. I can't believe I just said that, but I had to still.
Well, let me ask your opinion on that real quick.
Right.
Do you prefer the original case over steelbooks, or do you prefer steelbooks over original cases?
That is a complicated question, sir.
Okay.
So it depends on the art. This steelbook, somebody traded in, and like the place where we worked didn't really care about, like, as long as it had a case.
Yeah, I know.
So I just brought my original case and swapped it out. There's Max again. He got mad because I done that.
He's not supporting.
He's not supporting at all right now. We swapped this out though for I swapped it out for the steelbook, and I left the original case. It depends. If the art is worth it, then I prefer the steelbook. But if it's really bland, for example, the Starfield steelbook, in my opinion, was really bland.
Yeah.
If they would have done the cover of the original case but made it a steelbook, I would have been all over it. Okay. Doom Eternal had a really good steelbook. I don't have that one, but it was a beautiful steelbook. So it depends. It depends on the artwork for me. I like the steelbook though. I think it's a good collector's item. I do try to go for them if I think they're cool enough.
Okay.
Like I know I have Ghost of Tsushima over there. I have Death Stranding. I also have some steelbooks of movies. I have Deadpool, E.T., Django, Young Guns. all the Indiana Jones.
Of course.
So yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? So yeah, that really depends. Yeah.
I think I'm the opposite on that. I prefer to have the original case of the steelbook because I don't like the way the steelbook looks against all the other cases.
I do keep them separate.
Yeah.
I do hate because I have the Persona 5 steelbook up there right now, but I have the cardboard slip in there, so it doesn't look as bad. But yeah, the steelbook does kind of throw off the
look on everything. I like it having that look to it and stuff. So don't get me wrong, I like steelbooks, but I put them in a separate spot and I keep them together, and then I keep my original games on a shelf to them. So no, I mean, like you said, the big thing is how they look. If they don't look cool, I don't see a point in getting them.
Yeah.
All right, am I up again?
You're up again.
Oh, so we'll talk about one of my favorite game series of all times. The Gears of War series. This is actually the case for the collector's edition.
That looks awful.
Yeah, no, it was very bland. But the collector's edition came with a statue. This is Gears of War 3, by the way. But it came with a statue of Marcus Phoenix with the Lancer, and he was standing over it. So my mom had to get it for me.
That's cool. The case definitely it has that look of an early 2000s. It's not bad. It's not. It's still cool. But
yeah, it's nothing. You wouldn't this would not be the first game I would grab if I saw it on a shelf.
Absolutely.
But the game itself, playing this with friends, co-op, greatest times of my life. I cannot tell you how much fun that is. It went insane. Oh man! And one of my favorite things I like to do to people in this game. I guess this is a spoiler, but. Not really. There's an Easter egg in the very first stage of the game where you can fight a giant chicken who breathes fire. Easy to set up. It's so easy. You just have to shoot down these pipes. There's 4 pipes you have to shoot down until you hear it make a noise, and then the chicken shows up. Do that on Insane and watch your friends hate you. It is amazing. It is so... I've never beat the chicken.
I'm going to have to find this and play it. Oh my God.
It's so fantastic.
All right. I've played the first one.
The first one's amazing.
And I've played some of it. I haven't beaten it yet, but I do enjoy it. My problem is my friends are a little bit inconsistent. I'm calling you out. And
so is my girlfriend. No shots, babe. I love you.
Yeah, there will not be an episode 2.
Not at all.
There will be. There'll be a new co-host.
That is fine. I live with no regrets.
His last words: no regrets.
They have to spell it no regrets.
I regret nothing. Oh, all right. So we have mine's a mention because I didn't have it.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yep.
So this is my last physical one I'm displaying. In Sound Mind. So this is an interesting game. Have you ever played this?
I have not, but I've heard about it.
It's sealed, unfortunately. I have not opened this. My parents are going to kill me because I asked for this for Christmas. But
we're gonna have to edit the video and Photoshop it open instead.
It's open. See? No, In Sound Mind was such a good game. So you play as a psychiatrist who enters the psyches of his patients.
Okay.
I'm not into horror games, but this one was really interesting. And for example, one of his patients was a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
And there's literally a level where you're spending the whole level hiding from somebody sniping in a tower.
Really?
It is.
So it's like a horror game.
It's a horror game, hands down. It is a horror game. But when you go into a mind and realize how awful people can be, it makes you be thankful that you're single. So
I might have to check that out.
It's a fun game. I don't think it's on any Game Pass or anything like that. But if I open it, I will let you check it out sometime.
Is it exclusive to Xbox or is it on other systems?
I think I purposely just bought it on Xbox.
Okay.
I think it's on PS5 as well.
I'm gonna have to check that one out. That sounds awesome. Alrighty, so this is my last physical game as well, and then I gotta mention I couldn't find it, so I just have to talk about it. I might get a lot of hate for this one in a weird way, because I know people dog on the game, but I'm gonna talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. These are so much fun to play with a friend. Have you ever played these co-op?
I've not played Scarlet and Violet. Matter of fact, my copy of Violet is still in the plastic in that drawer over there.
Don't get me wrong, they have their issues.
Did they fix it? Partially,
a little. I mean, it still has its problems, but I don't expect.
Like your mom.
Yes, absolutely. That's the way to look at it. It's perfect but flawed.
Okay.
But no, when I think of Pokemon, I'm not looking at a AAA game in my head. I don't think I'm not expecting to get Elden Ring level of game. It's just, I don't think that. It's Pokemon. So I'm not expecting to go in and see these things in realistic graphics, but it had its issues. But once you get past the very beginning of the game and you can actually play with friends and all the just running around collecting Pokemon together, it's like way me and my old lady did it was we would just start the game.
Lady.
Oh yeah, I gotta keep it all southern. We would just kind of go at the same stage. So like we wouldn't go to the first gym until we got there, and we were even going to do like a shiny quest, and like we would have to catch a shiny Pokemon before we were able to continue from a certain point, and then have to keep it like that. And I mean, the little bit of time we put in it together, I was having a blast. She's not big into Pokemon. I'm a nerd. I
love Pokemon.
It's such a great series.
I'm actually going through Pearl right now. My goal was I would beat Pearl because I had beat Sword and Shield. I wanted to beat Pearl, and then I was going to jump into that, and I just hadn't got to it. And that's the same with Xenoblade. I have all 3 of the Xenoblades.
Oh, man, don't even get me started on those.
I had to hunt down 2. 2 was like my holy grail for a minute.
I got 2 when it came out, but I cannot get the Torna edition. I have not been able to find it for a good price. I've seen it for like 80, and I don't want to pay 80 or 60 for it. But $30, I'll pay.
Yeah.
But no, this is a great game to play with friends. I absolutely love it.
I'm a huge Pokemon fan.
Oh, absolutely.
So I probably will check it out once I beat Pearl. That's my goal.
Diamond and Pearl were my favorite. The remakes I don't think were very hot, but the originals were kind of like my first big dive into Pokemon, and I absolutely love them.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
So into my honorable mention, and I think I texted you and told you what this was. And I had to look it up because I've not played it, but I've been told about it, and so I had to watch like gameplay of it and try to understand it.
Such an amazing game for kids.
No.
If you are under the age of 10, please play this.
No. I'm editing that out. No. Listen, so Doki Doki Literature Club was really. I mean, I was watching a video on it, and the developer like literally made it to defy the expectations of visual novels.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting.
Oh yeah.
But it is horrifying.
It is atrocious.
It's a dating sim, but one of the dating sims, like your first playthrough, like one of the characters will straight up just murder the other 2.
Yeah.
It was just because, yeah, like and they do not shy away from it. Like it literally says you spend a weekend with a dead body, like weekend at Ernie, like.
In the very beginning of the game, doesn't it give you like this is game not made for children? Like you get a
no, they changed it.
Oh, they did. Okay.
They did change it. There's a thing now saying you will be exposed to some disturbing images.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yes, they did change that because I think they got in some trouble with it, rightfully so. But that game is horrifying, and it will show you how crazy women could be. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's if you want that waifu game and then you're like want to recontemplate life decisions while you're at it. Doki Doki Literature Club.
It is a dating sim, like you said. I mean, it'd be the perfect game to go into for Valentine's Day.
All alone in your room with the lights out, no one around.
Yeah, just make sure like you don't. When you get caught for murder, you don't blame us. So that's all I care about.
Yeah, no. Just because you listen to this podcast,
we're not liable for what you do.
No.
Once we hit stop, we're no longer liable.
Yeah, no.
My honorable mention. I forgot. I couldn't find the game. I know I have it. It's cataloged.
He doesn't have it.
I probably don't.
He don't have it. He's lying about it. He doesn't even collect.
No, this is all a lie.
I just found him on the side of the street and was like, "Would you like to be warm for an hour and a half?"
Yes, in this weather. But Monster Hunter Tri for the original Wii, I absolutely love that game, and it's co-op, and so you can play online with people and do quests together like the traditional Monster Hunter. But what I like about this game is they had a Coliseum mode where you could actually do couch co-op, and
that's cool.
You didn't like it wasn't like you got into the world and do this. You just fought the big like dragons and stuff. So you had a boss you had to fight, and that was the only thing you could do was fight these. Me and my friend would sit there and play it for hours, just fighting all the different bosses and like you had pre-made classes, so you couldn't go in and change anything. It was very basic. But it was so much fun just being able to fight the dragons with a friend right beside me instead of having to do it over online. Now, like I got really big into the Monster Hunter World game that came out. I played that online for hours. But just like couch co-op is just such a different level to me than what online play is. Being able to just sit beside a friend and just play a game, you don't get that much nowadays. And you can. Like I really have a lot of nostalgia for games like that.
Absolutely, like that. I miss the couch co-op days. Like that's.
And I get online play is such a big thing now, but why isn't couch co-op? Like people didn't stop having brothers and sisters. People are still breeding like rabbits.
Now you're still doing the here. It's plugged in.
Yeah.
Play.
Oh, I've done that recently.
Oh no.
My nephew, I would take the batteries out of the controller. But like we just don't. I don't get why they strayed away from it.
I don't either. It's weird. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand why they did it.
I mean, why not do what's so different?
That's what the Switch brought back, I think, in a big way. Is like you got Mario Kart, you have Smash Brothers, you have Mario Party, 1-2 Switch. So I know I had to throw it out there. I know it's awful, but it was to have that back. I remember I would have Mario Kart tournaments. I've never been beaten in Mario. Well, actually, I take that back. I was drunk though.
Under the influence.
I was under the influence.
And driving. How dare you?
And playing Mario Kart.
Oh, there we go.
No, I was playing. We were playing Mario Kart, and
is it where you had to anytime you had to finish your beer before you finished the race, and you had to
we
stop?
were 3 races in, and my I don't want my friend beat me by 1 point.
Oh man.
Yeah, my friend beat me by 1 point, and I was like,
"How can you live with that?"
Oh, I'm coming back.
Coming back stronger.
I need to warm up. It's been a minute, but I'm coming back because I live by one rule and one rule only: no mercy in Mario Kart.
Oh, absolutely.
If he's actually, this goes. I'll say this. We'll have to wrap up because we've ran over an hour at this point.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. But my cousin, he got a Switch for Christmas. Okay. And we set him up, and I was like, oh, he wants to play Mario Kart. Well, he didn't have it, but I did. So I popped my card in, and we started to play. And I didn't think anything of it. I just would play, win my race, and he would just continue doing his thing, right? Yeah. He's starting to get old enough to be self-aware. And I was playing, and I drove. I won the race, and it does that. Yeah. And he just takes the controller, and I just see complete and utter. Jacob beat me.
Oh no.
And I was like, ruh-roh. I have that rule, but for him, I would break that rule.
Oh, no mercy.
Yeah, no.
I would have to destroy him.
I still went on to win the next race because I was like, he's like, you gotta learn. You gotta learn. Oh, this world is not fair.
It is not.
But that wraps up the last. Did you have any comments?
Yeah, so before we head off, I want to ask, what's one game coming out that you have to say, that you know of, that you're just excited for, that you can't wait?
I can't wait. Oh.
That you know of.
Now
it could be a game that doesn't have a release date yet, but something that you just know that's been announced.
I have a bad track record with these because I was really excited for Suicide Squad.
I've been eyeballing it really hard here.
And they said that it's not the best, which is unfortunate for me. I love the Arkham series.
Yeah.
But if I had to put one out there, I'm going to throw 2 out there. We mentioned them earlier.
Okay.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Okay.
Or Indiana Jones and the Forbidden Circle, or Full Circle, or something like that.
So I would have to say my big one that's coming out is the Final Fantasy remake that's coming out at the end of the month. The second part. Yep. I am super excited for that one. And then it's the Jurassic Park survival horror game.
I'm excited for that. We've been wanting that for a minute.
Yes, that looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm worried they're going to do it wrong.
Probably. We might as well prepare.
Yeah, but if they do it right, I think that would probably be one of my favorite games of all time. Hands down. I just love dinosaurs.
Well, guys, if you have stuck around for this a little over an hour podcast, which I hope you did,
leave a comment about my mom.
Leave a comment about JP's mom. It's like a gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely.
But everybody. Give us a like, give us a comment. Let us know what we can do better. I mean, This is our first episode, so we know there's going to be some things we got wrong, some things that we can do better. So tell us what we can do. Be constructive. Interact. Be constructive with your comments, though. I'm very sensitive.
Yeah, we don't want no crime.
Don't make me cry on Valentine's Day. But if you like it, subscribe, and if you're listening on Spotify or wherever we decide to upload this thing, give us a follow, because there'll be more episodes to come. I think we're going to do this on a bi-weekly basis.
Okay, yep.
So yeah, stay tuned, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in. now I'm going to go remind myself that I'm going to be alone on Valentine's Day while you're having a wonderful time with your...
Oh, you think it's going to be wonderful? After this post, you think I'm having a great time? I'll be lucky if I make it to Valentine's Day after this post.
Good night, everybody.
Later, guys.